Hello and welcome to our live virtual event brought to you by the Credit Institute of Canada. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's event, Insights from Consul General Madeleine Féquière, CCP, which will be followed by a special presentation at the end. Before we begin, I'd like to remind you that your audio is muted at this time. If you have any questions during the presentation, please hold off to them, submit them through the question box. We ask that you be clear, concise, and specific in your questions to help us address them efficiently. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, the reason why we all gathered virtually to introduce Consul General Madeleine Féquière, CCP. Madame Féquière is a distinguished leader in the field of credit management and international business. Currently serving as the Consul General of Canada in Chicago, she holds a wealth of experience from her extensive career in global executive roles. Prior to her diplomatic appointment, Madame Féquière was the corporate credit chief at Domtar Corporation, where she implemented innovative credit risk management strategies across multiple continents. Her expertise spans a wide range of industries, including agri-food, technology, and telecommunications. A dedicated advocate of professional development, she has spent over 25 years mentoring credit professionals and contributing to educational initiatives. Her commitment to the field is exemplified by her CCP designation and her long-standing involvement with the Credit Institute of Canada. Beyond credit management, Madame Féquière has served on numerous prestigious boards, such as Investissement Québec and the University of Montreal, where she applies her financial expertise to broader economic and educational issues. Her insights are highly sought after, making her a frequent keynote speaker at global conferences in her field. She has received numerous accolades for her contributions, including being named a member of the Order of Canada. Today, she will share her perspectives on the evolving role of credit management in a rapidly globalizing economy. Madame Féquière, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rashad. We come a long way, So, good morning, and thank you so much for this invitation. People often ask me what I miss the most after accepting this position, and I always tell them it's the world of credit and governance. I love the interactions with my colleagues, other credit risk managers, and also I enjoy serving on board of directors. It is a real honor to partner with CIC for this event. I am very proud of the work CIC is doing to provide a safe place for us to discuss, exchange, and learn. So our discussions today will center around the crucial role B2B credit professionals play in driving economic stability and growth. Some of us may not know it, but what we do, it is very important. How can we talk about driving economic stability and growth without talking about the environment in which B2B credit professionals are operating? And I think that's the primary things before we get into what we do actually. I don't know if some of you have seen the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That's how I viewed the world at the moment. Everything is happening at the same time. The global economy faces several significant threats or challenges today, many of which are interconnected and pose risk to both short-term stability and long-term growth. Now, let's have a look at those major challenges. First, we have geopolitical instability, as you know, conflicts and wars, ongoing conflicts such as the war in Ukraine, have disrupted global trade, increased energy prices, and affected global food supply. And also we have the trade wars and sanctions. Tensions between major economies have led to tariffs and restrictions that disrupt the supply chain, raise costs, and stifle trade. So secondly, we have, you've heard about it, inflation and rising interest rates. So the persistent high inflation driven by supply chain disruptions, rising energy costs, and increased demand erodes purchasing power and raising costs for businesses, but also for consumers. The central banks also are part of the whole idea of what do we do to lower costs and everything else. In response to inflation, central banks have been raising interest rates, increasing borrowing costs, and slowing down investment and consumer spending at the same time. Then another thread is the disruptions of the supply chain. As you all know, we've been through the pandemics, and the pandemic's aftershocks has revealed to us a lot of vulnerabilities in global supply chains, leading to shortages of goods, shipping delays, and price increases. And coupled with that, we have the natural disasters and climate change. You've seen it down south, the United States, extreme weather events such as hurricanes, floods, and droughts. So those are the type of things that will continue to persist over time. Another threat also is energy and food security. Volatility in energy markets, particularly due to geopolitical conflicts and the transition of renewable energy, threatens economic stability. And also we have the food supply issues, disruptions in agricultural production due specifically to climate change and geopolitical conflicts. So we have to deal with all of that. So when we look at climate change and the extreme weather events, more frequent and severe natural disasters disrupt our economies by damaging infrastructures, reducing agricultural output, and increasing insurance costs. We've all, as credit professionals, we know about those kind of things. Transitions to green economies, while necessary to low carbon economies, involve significant costs, especially for industries reliant on fossil fuels. So we are not out of the loop yet. So we still need to address that. And number 6, it's technological disruption. As you know, everybody's talking about automation and AI. Advances in automation and artificial intelligence threaten to displace jobs, particularly in industries like manufacturing, where all of us are working, logistics, and even services. And coupled with that, we have cyber security risk. As economies become more digital, the threat of cyber attacks on critical infrastructures, financial institutions, and supply chains becomes a growing concern. And closer to us, we have the debt crisis. Sovereign debt, many countries, as you know, especially developing economies, are facing growing debt burdens due to borrowing during the pandemic, rising interest rates, and inflation. So a sovereign debt crisis could trigger default, harming global financial markets. And coupled with that, we have corporate debt and household debt. As interest rates rise, highly leveraged companies and households may struggle to repay their loans, leading to bankruptcies. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Reduce spending and drag the economic growth. Coupled with that, we also have to think about population demographics, aging populations, labor shortages, declining birth rate, and restrictive immigration policies in many regions are leading to labor shortages, particularly in sectors like healthcare, construction, and technology. We've seen it times and times over again. And we also have to address the questions of global inequality. Wealth disparities are skyrocketing, growing income and wealth inequality, both within and between countries, can lead to social unrest, to political instability, and hence lower economic mobility, which in turn threaten our long-term growth and stability. Also, access to resources, unequal access to education, technology, financial resources in developing countries prevents them from fully participating in and benefiting from global economic growth. And finally, pandemic and public health risk. Ongoing threats of pandemics. We've seen the effect of COVID-19. It disrupts economies through lockdowns, reduce consumer demand and healthcare and increase healthcare costs. Strain on healthcare system. It's happening all over the world. Health crises, whether from pandemics or non-communicable diseases, can strain public health system, increase government spending, and reduce labor productivity. So as you can see, these threats are complex and often interconnected, meaning that addressing one can sometimes exacerbate another. Managing them requires coordinated efforts at both national and international levels, including policy reforms, technological innovation, and cooperation amongst governments and industries. This is the environment in which B2B credit professionals are managing risk for the organization. Now, let's put things in context, and everything that I've said before are obviously out of our control. However, let's look at our impact on all those threats as B2B credit professionals. So in today's global economy, businesses rely on credit to finance their operations, to support their growth, and to manage their cash flow. Consequently, B2B credit professionals play a critical role in ensuring that this flow of credit is managed responsibly. So let's look at the role of the B2B credit professionals. First, it's not at random, and it's not because we feel like doing it that we do a credit assessment before onboarding a customer. B2B credit professionals analyze potential risk when extending credit to other businesses. They ensure that businesses only extend credit to reliable partners, mitigating the risk of default. And then we have the other side of it, which is managing our own cash flow. By ensuring timely payments from business clients, credit professionals protect a company's liquidity, enabling smooth operations and the ability to invest in growth. And then another facet of what we do is the debt recovery, the collections department, we call it. Efficient handling of overdue payments ensures that the companies you work for recover owed money, maintaining financial health, and reducing bad debt. So the second level where B2B professionals interfere a lot in contributing to economic stability is preventing insolvency. By assessing creditworthiness, B2B credit professionals help prevent companies from overextending credit, reducing the risk of financial crisis or insolvencies that can ripple through the entire economy. That's how important we are. Also, stabilizing supply chains. Healthy credit management ensures that businesses within a supply chain can meet their obligations. Do not overextend credit because we are not doing a service to our clients. Keeping goods and servicing flowing without interruption, it's a way to manage the financial risk, not only of your company, but also of your clients. And also you have to remember that economic stability rely on maintaining employment. When businesses remain financially stable, jobs are preserved, contributing to economic stability at a societal level. And then we have how do we facilitate economic growth as B2B credit professionals? By supporting business extensions with reliable credit management, businesses have the confidence to extend credit to new partners, to new customers, expand into new markets, or invest in innovation. That in itself is fueling economic growth for all of us. Encouraging trade and investment facilitate also economic growth. By assessing international credit risk, B2B credit professionals enable global trade and investment, facilitating cross-border partnerships and international economic growth. And the last aspect of the facilitating economic growth is financing innovation. Through innovation, businesses can access capital needed for research and development, technological upgrades, and new product launches, driving industry evolution and growth. So as you can see, whatever we do in our office for our companies, whatever we do, we have an impact on everything that happens in this economy. And also, one of the aspects that we manage and are very efficient at doing is mitigating economic risk. We, some credit department now are calling themselves the crisis prevention. B2B credit professionals serve as an early warning system for economic downturns because we see it at least a year or more before anybody else in the economy notice that there is something wrong with it, that the economy is slowing down, because we see it because our customers are slowing down their payments. We are at the forefront of whatever is happening in the economy. We see it first. So by closely monitoring the financial health of business clients, they can spot trends that may signal a broader economic slowdown. And also, we are good at diversification of our risk. Effective B2B credit professionals diversify the credit portfolio across industry and geography, reducing the risk of exposure to economic downturns in specific sectors or regions. Another place where we are excelling is collaborating with financial institutions, the banks and their partners. Partnerships with B2B credit professionals and banks and lenders often ensure that credit terms align with lending policies, creating a robust framework for financial transaction and stability. And then also, because in the credit field, we exchange information amongst each other confidentially, that also creates a safe, secure, and stable financial environment. So enhancing financial transparency as we do it in the credit field, it doesn't exist in other industry. This is something that is unique to the credit field, the rapport that we have with each other and also with the financial institutions, the banks and the lenders. By promoting transparency in credit assessment and financial reporting, B2B credit professionals help create a healthier, more predictable business environment that supports stable economic conditions. So to do all that, what type of skills that B2B credit professionals require to be able to see not through the client, but beyond the client and look at the economy in general? First, you must develop financial analysis acumen. This is like very important. And if you don't have that, actually you're not managing credit. So understanding the balance sheet, understanding its relation with cash flow statements and other financial documents that you evaluate to determine the credit worthiness of business clients, it's very important. And you have also to make an effort to develop your communication skills and your negotiation skills. Working with clients to negotiate payment terms, resolve disputes, and maintain positive business relationships. And also, I will implore the credit world to make sure that we are early adopters of technology. You have to adopt and adhere to new technologies. You must have the tools to manage your credit cycle. That's where it starts. If you don't have the tools, you are missing on a lot of things. So leveraging advanced credit management software, there are plenty of them in the market. Leveraging data analysis, because the credit department have all the data a company requires to have a clear view of each and every one of their clients. And we have that data. That data is nowhere else in your organization. We control that data. And also, just look at the new AI tools to assess risk more accurately and more efficiently. So the role of B2B credit professional extends, as you can see, far beyond managing your receivables. You play a fundamental part in maintaining the financial health of individual businesses, stabilizing supply chains, and driving both domestic and international economic growth. So in closing, I would leave you with that thought. As the economy becomes more interconnected and complex, the role of B2B credit professionals will continue to evolve, further solidifying your position as a key player in your organization, and then as key players in sustaining economic stability and fostering growth. Always remind yourself that you play a vital role as credit professionals in both individual business success and the larger economic ecosystem. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam Féquière. That was truly enlightening, reminding all of us here today why we do what we're doing as credit professionals. I would not now like to open the floor for questions, so please type it in the question box. I understand the chat function is not working, but the question box is open. Type in your comments, your questions, and then we will, try to, ask Madame Féquière to reply. But one question from me, Madame Consul General, is regarding the influence of credit professionals within their own companies. How do they achieve influence with the CFOs, with the C-suite, or even get a seat at that table?
Yeah. This is a very great question. I was able to achieve that by, number one, if you are doing your job, people need to know the success you are contributing to your company. And the only way you can portray that, the only way you can convey that to your management is through your monthly credit report. I know a lot of credit managers who do not do monthly credit report. Your monthly credit report is technically a portrait of what you've been doing during that specific month of October, and compare it with how you did the prior month, and compare it with how you did the year before. So for your management to understand that, let's say, for instance, you have a DSO of 40 days last October 2023, and then this year you were able to lower your DSO to maybe a couple of days, from 40 to 37 days. This is progress. They need to know that, because we are doing all that work, but it has no visibility. So you must find a way to create visibility for your credit department that you're managing. But the only way to do it is through the credit report, the monthly credit report. But publishing the credit monthly report, it's one thing. But sitting with your immediate boss and your CEO, or whoever your boss is in that organization, you have to sit with them and explain your results, and also tell them, about your objectives, where you are heading. So we are all sitting behind our desk, and we are doing that wonderful job, but nobody is aware of the importance of it. So it's up to you to sell it internally. If you answer to a treasurer, meet with your treasurer on a monthly basis, or as often as he allows it. But on a monthly basis, you need to have that conversation about your results during this specific month.
Thank you. You provided some very good context with regard to metrics, reporting on metrics. Metrics on their own, numbers on their own, don't draw the complete picture. Right? So in comparison to what you've done before, and in comparison as well to industry benchmarks, that's very helpful to project the report on your metrics. I'm starting to see some questions coming through. I will take the first one from Anna. She's asking, what parameters or tools do you use when granting credit for brand new international customers? Just a reminder, Madame Consul General doesn't currently practice as a credit professional, but she has extensive knowledge in the industry. I'm sure she can share some insights on that.
Yeah. When I was in the field, we had a scoring analysis system where we analyze the financial statements. We take all the informations that are available to us, whether online or through our colleagues from the same industry, and that. We also look at everything that is coming from credit bureaus. You need to have contract with one or two or three major credit bureaus. You know, people may not know it, but S&P has an extended database of credits on a lot of companies. So we were part of that, where I could access their database. Of course, it's not free, but it's worth exploring. And also, you have to be able to have a tool, an internal credit analysis tools that allows you to do some modeling for yourself. And then whatever results that you have, you can compare it with what other organizations are putting out, by sectors of the economy. If you're selling to somebody in oil and gas, you need to know exactly how the entire oil and gas customers are paying their bills, but you will not know that just by looking at your own data. You have to be able to get access to other source of data to be able to analyze exactly and understand where your customer is going. I can tell you, with all the tools that I used to use when I was B2B credit professionals, all of them always drive me to the answer of whether or not a customer is going bankrupt. And as a matter of fact, the last part of my career, I have spent maybe 6-7 years without a bankruptcy. Why? Because bankruptcies don't happen overnight. I don't know what is your school of thought on that, but for me, they don't happen overnight. And I train my team to be able to view the danger zones as they are happening. If you have a customer who gave you his financials, by the way, if you are selling to a customer, you are entitled to receive the financial statements. I remember when I got into pulp and paper, I wanted to have financial statements. Everybody was telling me, no, you will never get it. And I'm like, okay, if we don't ask, we don't get. I ask and we start having. So at the end of my career, before I left B2B credit field, before I left, every customer were requested their financial statements, and they are entitled to give it to you. Why they are entitled to give it to you? It's very simple. If they go to the bank, they cannot show up empty-handed. So when they come to us, it's like a loan because they are not paying you tomorrow morning. So if you extend $100,000 credit to somebody, you are entitled to have the financial statements. So you can do your analysis and see, will that guy survive 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, my credit terms? So you have to have your financial statements. So when I was doing credit, financial statements was a must, and it was non-negotiable to bring a customer on board. So get the proper tool. Financial statements is a must. Understanding the trend of customers' payments through other partners in the industry helps as well.
Thank you. We have another question that just came in about technologies. You spoke about S&P sources of information that helps professionals to do a good job at what they do. So Fabian is asking if you could mention talk a little bit about the new technologies. What would you recommend without endorsing any companies, obviously?
Okay, so yeah, just did the disclaimer for me without endorsing any. I know high radius is good. I know credit risk monitor. If you don't have it, get yourself something. I know also what we use at Domta used to be. I can send it to you because I know they changed name.
Okay.
It is a tool that is really not expensive that we've acquired maybe for less than $50,000. But let me tell you, this tool saved our lives because we put all the customers in it and it gives us all sort of statistics and everything else. So I think that also is very valuable. For financials, I used to use S&P database. Moody's, because they are selling the data now. Everybody is everybody is selling the data now. So you need to be able to, for your major customers where you have high credit limits, so you need to be able to have access to those data. So we did have access to them.
Okay. Yeah. Good. And Lena is asking about some specific, what do you look at when you're reviewing financial statements? What are some of the major components that you would look at that will help you assess the creditworthiness of a client or a potential client?
Okay, so a lot of my students always ask me that questions. What I would say is that one number doesn't tell the story. Two numbers doesn't tell the story either. In a financial statement, it's three sets. You have to be able to look at all the three sets separately and make a decision on that. So the way I used to do it, we developed that one pager. It's a mathematical formula, and we've analyzed everything on the customer's financials, but we zoom in specifically on the debt level. Debt level for us is a showstopper because nobody can survive if you're heavily indebted. So we are always looking for debt level. And so debt level, we assign a certain number to it. Liquidity, we assign a certain percentage to it. At the end of the day, we look at every position of the customer's financial and assign a percentage to it. So when we compile all the numbers, I need to be closer to 75 and 80 than below that. If it's below that, my customer enter a new category of risk. So the way we look at it, we have high risk, medium risk, and low risk. And all my high risk, they are 80% and above, 60% and below. My medium risk, it's in the middle, between 75 and 60. And then my low risk, they are 80% and over. When we look at the financials, because the financials alone will tell us where to classify the customer. And every customer below 60% to us falls into the risk category.
Excellent. This is part of the basic principles we teach in some of our courses at the Institute.
Yeah.
But they're very helpful. If you are not part of our network or our student base, please check out our website. There are courses that you can register and take. You don't necessarily have to be part of the program, but just standalone courses that is focus specifically on certain areas of credit. I think this is all the time, unfortunately, we have for the Q&A section, but I would like to, earlier I started with influence. I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the meeting room of Dr. Georgette Zinati, who presented at our conference last June, and she's coming back to do a follow-up session on October 28th. And it will be about influence, leadership, how you lead your department, how you become a leader, a better leader in what you do. So that's just a plug-in. But we would like now to move on to the next segment of our event today, which is the official presentation of the meritorious honorary designation to Madame Consul General, which is the highest designation of the Institute can confer on someone, the Emeritus certificate. So I'd like to invite our President and Dean, Dave Hopkins, ACI, to do that official presentation.
Thank you, Nishad. Madame Féquière, Consul General, I'm honored and humbled to present to you today your CCP Emeritus designation. This for all your years of outstanding leadership, involvement, and long-term dedication to the Credit Institute of Canada. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, George. Thank you. I really appreciated it. It's a great honor for me to have that designation, because I know it's something that you don't have a lot of it. You don't give a lot of it. We have 50 people who owns it. So I am very proud to be part of that select group of distinguished credit professionals.
Thank you very much. Nishad, you're on mute.
My apologies. Thanks, Dave. So what we'll do is we will follow up with your framed certificate in the mail to your, I believe, Consul General address in Chicago. So watch for it in the next week or so. At this time, what I'd like to do is just conclude the presentation. So I want you to remember why we're here. We're not just here to learn about credit management or international diplomacy. We're here because we believe in the power of our profession to shape the world. And Madame Consul General, talked about that. Madame Féquière's journey from credit management to international isn't just a career path. It's a testament to the far-reaching influence of our work. It shows us that we do every day. It shows us that what we do every day, managing risk, building trust, facilitating trade, has the power to foster international cooperation and shape the future of global commerce. So I challenge you, don't leave here today thinking only about what you've learned or how you will apply these strategies. Instead, ask yourself, why do you do what you do? Why does your work in credit management matter on a global scale? And take pride in it. We also would be remiss if I don't say thank you for your continuing ongoing loyalty to the Institute. Some of us have been with the Institute for decades, and the benefits, is really the networking, the camaraderie that you find at the Institute, the sharing of best practices and thought leadership at the Institute. We try to bring you, as often as we can, subject matter experts like Madame Féquière to share their insights and learn from them as well. So as you return to your roles, I urge you to start with why. Why do you manage credit? Is it just to minimize risk and maximize profit? Or is it because you believe in building trust between businesses, in facilitating global trade, domestic trade, in contributing to economic growth that can lift communities out of poverty, that can help protect business wealth and grow them as well? So with this, I'd like to extend my heartfelt thank you on behalf of the Board of Directors at the Institute, and on my own name. Thank you very much, Madame Consul General, for being part and addressing our community today. With that, I'd like just to remind everybody that we have a few sessions coming up on October, in a couple of days. October 17th, we have a prep session for the Advanced Finance course that will start on October 21st. So that October 17th, so we're still, you can still register if you've already registered for the Advanced Finance course at the executive level. You can attend that session for free, but for anyone else, there's a small fee. So we will have Sonia Agarwal, CPA, who will be delivering that session for 2 hours. And then obviously on October 3rd, 21st, we're still inviting members, CCP members, to register for the Advanced Finance course, which is part of the ECCP program. On October 28th, I mentioned Dr. Georgia Zinati. She's coming back to do a follow-up session of what she did at the executive workshop in Halifax at our conference. November 6th, we have another presentation by lawyer Jeremy Brissett on corporate governance, specifically related to AI and what's happening in the marketplace with technologies. With that, Mr. President and Dean, would you like to add anything else before we close the session?
No, I think that I think you've said everything, Nishad. Just thanks so much to Madame Féquière and Consul General. I'm never sure where to put those. Consul General first, Madeleine, or put it after. But
Now, call me Madeleine, George.
I just like, Madeleine, I love. But anyway, thank you so much for being here today and speaking to our group. We really appreciate it because I know you have a very busy schedule. But I certainly look forward to having conversations with you and hopefully meeting you in the very near future.
Yes, totally. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.